This is Anything and Everything with Brit, sponsored by Evry. Hello, besties. We are back for another episode of the Anything and Everything podcast, sponsored by yours truly, Evry. Today we have a very special guest. We've known her forever, actually. If you look in the Evry follow history, she's actually probably one of the first people we've actually ever followed on the app. And I actually saw our DM from 2020. So she is an OG. Adriana, welcome to the podcast. We're so excited to have you.
Thank you. I'm really happy to be here.
We're so excited to have you. I swear, you could on TikTok, it's kind of chronological order of who you follow, and I swear to God, she is one of the first people that we've actually ever followed.
I think you guys are one of the first PR that I ever received, and it was really big.
That's so I kind of back in the day, I swear she's one of the only people we've actually followed, because as a brand, you don't follow that many people. Yeah. And I remember following her from day one, and I have DM from her 2020. So Nadia, why don't you jump in and
Well, first, it's just crazy because she's one of the first people we when we got back into collabs. Adriana was one of the first jobs, which is amazing. It did so well. We love you.
I know. I still think about it. I get chills when I think about it.
Yeah, we've been working with her for so long, ambassador program, and then Peace, and now podcast, and I don't know. There's so much.
Probably a part 3.
Part 3, who knows? Sky's the limit.
I feel we should maybe jump in of first, maybe you could tell us about your social media journey, what made you start posting, even just your username too. We want to know everything. Yeah, tell us all the tea.
How did she come up with that username? There definitely has to be a story behind it, because you don't just come up with that. You just really
there is, and it's basically when I was in middle school, my friends and I got a karaoke machine, and we were obsessed with using it at one of my friends' houses, and we would all pick celebrity names, and we would we would get stuck on doing one celebrity songs, and so my friends were doing Hannah Montana or Selena Gomez, and I was obsessed with rapping Eminem songs, and so we can't when I was doing in my karaoke phase, I guess I made that my my so it was not slim but shady, a little play on words. And then when TikTok came around, I guess pandemic era, I knew I didn't want to just do my name, because I was that's boring and bland, and so I did that. And then president came about because I got TikTok my senior year of high school, and I was senior class president, and I wanted everyone to know because it was a really hard competition, and I won. But I probably started posting fall 2019, just the dancing, it was still kind of musically or whatever. And then I went to Europe my senior year of high school. It was February 2020, right before COVID hit, and I started making videos for all my friends back home, because I was there for 3 weeks. So I started making videos for all my friends back home, and obviously they were really interesting and cool because I was saying all of these great things. And then they started getting some traction, and when I got back home to Florida, I didn't post for a while because I was nobody wants to see what I'm doing in my small town, but they did, and then it can just kind of grew from there, and it was really fun. Yeah,
so cute. I knew there was a story behind the name. I love that.
Yeah. Did you ever have a video that kind of blew a vibe?
I think after I got back, it was actually me getting ready for a first date with my ex-boyfriend, and it was I think it got 1 million views, which at the time TikTok was a little bit smaller as a brand 3 years ago, and so I was freaking out, and it was right, we weren't at school anymore because it was everything was shut down, and so, and then the guy, my ex-boyfriend at the time, saw it, and then his sister saw it, and then everyone was and yeah, and it kind of just me going on a date. It was me going on a date, and I look back at that video, and I look like a little kid, and the video is so 2020, my mannerisms and the zoom ins and the effect. It's so
that's
pandemic
so cute.
era.
I see it.
I don't regret it one bit at all.
But that's a good way to start. Like, I feel like that's how a lot of people start. It's like one video blows up and they're like, let's do this. Like,
Yeah.
and then you just were like, let's continue. You just kept posting about
Yeah,
yourself
it
and
was-
just like,
It was just kind of like everyone's on lockdown and I have nothing to do. And I was like, I think I was like 17 and I couldn't go to school and I couldn't work and I could barely see my friends. So I was like, let's just record my entire life for the next however many years.
I feel like something that's like really like impressive about your account and everything is kind of like the engagement that comes with it, where it's like if you go through the comments you could like see real people commenting and like it's real interaction where it kind of shows people it's not just about like numbers, where it's like you don't have thousands of comments but like I know those are all real people. How do you think that kind of came about? Did you think you did anything in specific to like you know, like it's very obvious that you have like a great community of like people.
very genuine.
Yeah, very genuine too.
I think it's just I don't like see myself any different on social media. Even when I talk to people or I meet new people and my friends will be like, "Oh, she has this many followers." Like I don't see it as that because I don't know, maybe it's because I'm not like living in LA and I don't have like it surrounding me. So to me it's just kind of like a fun little thing. It's not a job. It's more of like a hobby with these connections that I'm making on the internet, and I'm so grateful for everybody that does comment. And I honestly don't know why. I don't know like I don't know what I do that makes them feel like welcomed, but I'm so glad that I do it. And I don't know if it's like I don't know. I think there's a sense of like community there, and I try to be as open and I try to like I don't know. I have hundreds, not hundreds. That sounds really like a lot. I have like a lot of DMs with people that follow me where I feel almost as if they're like my little sisters in a way, which I have 3 younger sisters and I try to like give them as much advice as possible. I feel like that with like the girls and the people that follow me. I don't know. I've had people reach out about like boyfriend advice or high school or college, and I try my best to like answer as many DMs as possible. And I don't know. I'm not Margot Robbie. Like I don't know. I think there's in the most humble way, I think there is a sense of humbleness, which is like weird to say about yourself.
No, I get that.
No, but
Well-
you're so hardworking. Like you're in school, you work, and like I feel like you do the social media like to share your story and help girls that like are struggling, because you can tell like even like I've seen some of your comments, like people are like, I'm like obsessed with you, like you share so much, like I don't know. So I feel like you have a good
I
platform.
definitely
And, like,
I think there's also a sense of like relatableness there because I like I am not gonna drop out and pursue this full time. Like I'm in college and there was a time when I was like working 3 jobs and I was showing that, and like every one of my videos is like, get ready with me for a double or get ready with me for work and stuff. And so I think there's a sense of like connection there with people that watch my videos, which I really like and I don't want to lose.
I feel like it's like the best where it's you're not trying to be relatable, you just are relatable. I feel like if people kind of go their way and they try too hard to be something that they're not, it like just like looks fake and like they can only kind of keep that up for so long. But I feel like with you genuinely with like people want to see that. Even just like me as like someone who uses the app, I feel much more of like a comfort watching someone who I know is like going to school, working. I feel like that just is what people want to see. And don't get me wrong, I love to see like some extravagant stuff going on too,
like traveling to
but I still feel like at the end of the day,
this is reality.
time in and time out,
Yeah.
that's what people are like wanting to see. And I feel
Obviously,
like
everyone wants to live that luxury life, but it's not everyone can. So it's good to see like the good and the bad, like the work that you put into it. So
yeah, I definitely think that that's something that like makes her super unique. This podcast is sponsored by Evry Jewels. If you're looking for high quality and affordable jewelry, check out Evry Jewels, EVRYJEWELS.com, and use the code PODCASTLOVE for 50% off your entire order. Where do you draw the line of like things that you want to kind of like share online and because I feel like you definitely do show and like speak a lot. So it's like, how do you decide, okay, what am I going to post? What am I not going to post? Blah, blah,
blah. Well, I definitely learned my lesson with my last relationship. I posted a lot of my ex-boyfriend on social media,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw nothing wrong with it at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I still see nothing wrong with it. I mean, it was a wonderful relationship and it was fun videos and blah blah blah. But I've been out of that relationship for over 2 years, and I still get comments about it, and I still get comments about like with his name, and people still like
Really?
I've definitely I haven't like publicly dated anybody since, and I don't know if I will, because it was a lot of like, okay, I'm over it, but I get DMs about it and questions about it all the time. So I think I kind of I think I know when to keep that separate, and I do my best to like keep my family and friends um out of it with their permission. Like, I don't, it's my channel, it's not their channel, and luckily my friends and family, they like think it's so cute and they want to be in it. And then I'm in school to be a teacher, so I definitely try to keep like the more provocative stuff off the internet. Like, I'm not sharing like Tana Mojo, explicit stories, even though I have hilarious ones and I think they would do well. I just know that there's going to be a time in my life where I don't know if I won't have social media, but I know that I will be more focused on working with teenagers, and I don't want them to know that side. So I think I try to keep like the PG-13, and then I know now to keep my sort of like
Yeah.
relationship. I'll talk about guys nonchalantly, and I'll tell stories of dates, but as far as like pure relationships go, I probably won't be posting boyfriends.
Yeah. And do you like, wait, have you ever like taught in a classroom, like as like a,
Yeah,
So-
I've
Yeah.
seen you do videos and it's like, come with me for like a day.
so does your students know about like your TikTok or?
They do. They definitely do. So, for example, this last year I worked in a high school and I worked in a middle school. And I taught 10th grade Vietnam War, and then I taught 8th grade biology with I was a TA in both those
Yeah.
classes. The 10th grade class, nobody like ever came up to me or kind of mentioned it. But it was in like another district, but the 8th grade class, it was definitely like mentioned a lot, but in a fun like way. Like, if it ever got serious, I don't know, I would kind of like shut it down. But there were times where like, I don't know, they're cute, they're like 13, and they're like, can we show our outfits and blah blah, and we would make
Oh,
those
that's
like
adorable.
videos.
I
It was
could
it was
see-
really it was really cute. That definitely made me kind of I don't want to say more reserved, but this last year in a classroom definitely reminded me as to why we keep some things off of the internet. Like, for example, when I would be like on live, I would see their little username pop up, and I would be telling a story, and I would be like, okay, well, we'll finish this one later. And their little eyes are everywhere. So it definitely like reminded me as to why we kind of keep it a little more PG. But yeah, that's teaching is like all I've ever wanted to do.
You're
I don't
gonna
think
be
I would
such
ever
a good
quit.
teacher.
And how did you know that you wanted to become like a teacher?
So when I was growing up, my mom was a single mom. She had me when she was 15, and I always loved school. I think I got very lucky, and I had very welcoming teachers. But I was always the kid that did like the before school program and the after school program, because my mom was working, a few jobs, and I just always found comfort in school. And I got very, very lucky when it came to middle and high school, because I had teachers who kind of, or at least, like, I know you guys are from Canada, but like the SAT and like these big tests that you had to take, like, I knew nothing about them. I didn't know about prep. I didn't know about like these things that were going to help me get into college. And I got really lucky, and I had teachers who would spend hours after school tutoring me, or like helping me if I didn't understand something. And I really felt a sense of like community there. And I'm very lucky with my life. I'm very blessed. But I saw so many children that weren't, and who took kind of that sense of community with school. And I knew that I've known since I was in like middle school that I wanted to do that for other people. Like, I wanted to help those kids who didn't have that parental aspect or just guardian aspect at home. Like, I want to be I want to be that for somebody. And I love history, like, more than anything. I just like read about it and watch movies about it, and I want to be able to like share that love and passion with kids.
I feel like you're definitely so mature and well spoken. And
Yeah.
how and why do you think you're like that? Even when like you're speaking like, oh, I know I'm blessed. Like how are you? Yeah, go ahead.
I think my mom always said that ever since I was a kid, like I like never wanted to hang out with other kids. Like I always wanted to hang out with like her and her friends, or my grandparents and their friends. Like I liked like being around adults. And I love to read, and I have since a very young age. And I think I was reading books that maybe were a little too mature when I was younger, and they kind of structured how I present myself now. But I think I've always just gravitated towards like, I mean, I played with like toys and like
Yeah.
played around, like, I wasn't like the wearing a tux to school, but I did always gravitate towards like, I was really good friends with my teachers, and I was able to have, I don't know, I feel like I've always been able to have like the serious conversations. I'm funny too. I'm not, but
No. We know. We
know.
see you on TikTok.
But, yeah, I think I've always I don't know. I think I've always taken pride in being able to present myself in a way that makes like my family proud. Like I want to be able to,
like, you're very driven and passionate, and like I feel like everyone can see that, the way that you speak and
yeah.
the way that you like live your life. Like you can tell that you're so passionate about what you do, and I think you're going to be an amazing teacher.
Oh, me
thank
too.
you. That's like the best
Um,
compliment.
I feel like, especially with like, I'm assuming that you have like a predominantly like female audience. What are your like tips kind of for like confidence and self-love and things like that? Because I feel like you definitely radiate that in your videos, and maybe not every day you wake up and you think the best things of yourself, or like it's only human, but I'm saying like the majority of the time, how are you kind of like feeling and embracing that? Yeah.
Well, I was raised by like a predominantly female family, and they have kind of always entrusted that into me, and they've always taught me like the importance of self-love and to speak highly of yourself. And I was having this conversation with my best friend Rachel, shout out Rachel. And we were just talking about how we feel as though like it is a process of manifestation. I think speaking down about yourself to yourself is a very powerful thing, and I think you're kind of manifesting those things, and you're bringing those things into the universe. And I definitely don't wake up every day and I'm ready to like, there are periods of time where I don't even want to post on the internet because I don't want to like look at myself, but I just take those times. I try to take those breaks or take those pauses and kind of step back and think about the like the good things about myself. And I know that it kind of sounds cheesy, and I used to think it was so cheesy, but I will like sit there in front of a mirror and say like, I am beautiful, I am powerful, like I am smart. Like I really think speaking those things into existence is so important. And remembering that, like, I think a huge thing that I learned in high school and in college is like somebody else's beauty or brains or strength is a completely separate thing than your own, and it does not take away from like your own beauty. And I think that was really hard because comparison is such a huge thing in high school and on social media.
Yeah, I was gonna
but I
say
think
that.
once you like drill it into your brain that like she's beautiful, she's smart, she's beautiful, but I am too, and like her beauty has nothing to do with me. And I try to be as positive as possible, and I like not entertain those negative thoughts, because once you start to entertain them, they do have like a power that can kind of take over. Yeah.
Do
I
you
don't
find social media like affects you in any way with like, I don't know if you receive hate comments ever, like do you find that is like that impacts like the way you like, I don't know,
Feel about
like obviously like you said, like you don't really take that stuff like super serious, like people are just commenting to comment, but like do you find there's like, I don't know, some impact there with social media?
so luckily I've been very lucky, and I feel like I've built kind of a community in my following that doesn't really tolerate that. And it's really funny, like sometimes my friends will mess around and they'll go like comment on a video, like just comment little comments that obviously they're my friends, I know they're joking, but the people that follow me will go and like kind of to my rescue in a sense.
I
Like,
love
they
that.
attack them.
me those comments, and I have to go back and be like, no, it's my best friend, like it's okay, like she's joking. But it's definitely hard. It was a lot more when I kind of started, I think, before I built like, I don't want to say I built my like brand, but before I built kind of what my account is meant to be, I did receive more. And I think, I don't know, like to me, like that I've always seen like projected hate as a projection of how somebody feels about themselves. And I think I've been very lucky, and like my mom is my best friend, and she's always kind of told me, like when I would go home and I would say, so like so and so said this about me, she would be like, well, that's it's either jealousy, or that's how they feel about themselves, or they're like a miserable person. And I think I mean, I can't imagine being like a major celebrity or somebody with more followers who does receive that all the time. I think I might have a different perspective on it because I don't really get bombarded with that. But I think it's a matter of like understanding that they don't really mean it. Like they are so miserable, and like they're such an evil person that they're going on somebody else's account or channel or video and commenting hurtful things. Um and they're just a little bean. I don't know. They
Yeah.
mean so like little to me. And I think like going back to the self-love thing, like when you're able to like step back and realize and tell yourself like you have so much worth and so much like so much power within yourself, like you kind of realize how little other people's opinions, honestly good or bad, can mean. Like as long as you know that you're beautiful and you're strong and you're powerful and you're smart, doesn't really matter what they think.
I feel like that's kind of a great leeway into maybe talking about our first collab, because I feel like a lot of what you're saying, you kind of relayed in like the piece that you had created with us. So maybe we can kind of like talk about your first piece and like kind of how it went viral and that whole like collaboration process and like the meaning behind your piece, because I think that ties just so well into what you were
I
saying.
remember the first time we had the call, like you probably remember too, like we had the call, we talked about it. Literally 2 seconds after we hung up, she calls me back. She's like, I have an idea. And she told me the meaning. I'm like, yes, like we're doing that. Like, let's get started right away. Like she was so passionate about it. And it just like made me so happy to see, like mostly went sold out like so quickly. It was just like, I was so happy for you. I was like, I'm so proud of her. Like, I felt like a mom. I kept saying, I was like, I'm so happy for her. Like, she deserves the world.
I love that.
But yeah, let's hear it, like your meaning behind Sent with Love and how it felt to create it.
So yeah, the first piece that we created is called Sent with Love, and it's, I don't know, I wish I like grabbed it, but it's a little envelope with a heart in the middle. And the meaning behind it kind of came to me. My grandmother, who I was kind of I lived with growing up, she always kind of mentioned this thing to me because I was obsessed with romance growing up. And I think many, like, I don't know, I feel like many young girls in our kind of society are obsessed with like, you know, you're a princess and you need to be saved, and you need to find a prince, and you have to find your one true love. You have to find a boyfriend, and you have to get a man to love you, or get another woman to love you. And my grandmother always told me growing up that you have to write the best love letters to yourself, and like self-love is the most important, which I feel like I've said it so much I don't want it to be like redundant, but it is really important. And I think I was like, when I was in middle and high school, and I was like, I always had a boyfriend. Like I always was dating somebody. I always was talking to a guy, and I always found my worth in how much somebody else loved me, which I think is very damaging in a sense. And so I wanted to create this necklace to kind of represent that, like, you know, you, like, for example, I have very young little cousins, and I remember like every time I would give it to them and I would put it on them, and I would tell like my little cousins like Gianna or Mia, and I would tell them like, wearing this necklace is a resemblance that like you are worth, like, you are enough, you are worth love and passion and compassion from yourself and from other people. And I kind of just wanted to put that necklace as a reminder that, like, while building your relationship with a partner is very important, while building your relationship with friends and family is important, like, you are the one thing that you're going to have for the rest of your life. Like, you are the one person that you are always going to see in the mirror. And so that is the relationship that you should put the most emphasis on, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, I feel like your piece really resonated with like a lot of other people because you really shared the meaning behind it. Like, we do a lot of these collabs, like some people have meanings behind it, some don't, some just like create a piece and it's just like something that they love to wear, but you really had a meeting and you shared it and you were passionate about it. And I feel like a lot of young girls really love that because, like you said, everyone wants that love story and that one, they all want to be loved, they want a romantic story. And I feel
But I think it also like exactly what you're saying, it starts with like loving yourself.
yeah. So I really think you created an amazing piece. It's like,
Thank you.
it was so amazing when it sold out, like literally within the
At first, because we had like another necklace kind of similar to it, and at first I was like, oh, I don't know how it's like gonna do, because like sometimes it has correlation, sometimes it doesn't. I'm like, oh, we had a piece like this and whatever, and then
and then hers literally just like,
yeah, totally wrong.
And I remember we were texting you. We were like, okay, like we just dropped it. Like you can start posting. And you were at a lunch or something for your friend's birthday.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, yeah, I'm going to start posting. I'm like, it literally sold out. Like, it's just like, I haven't even posted yet.
I know. I was like, my video hadn't even like fully uploaded yet. And then I like posted the video and then I was like, oh, by the way, sorry
By the way,
guys.
it actually sold out. Everyone's like, it's sold out in the comments. And we were all commenting. Like, I remember we were trying to go through everything.
I think even like, especially for her, it's probably like such like a full circle moment. You're getting like tagged from like girls when they get their package and they're wearing the necklace, and it's probably just like a special feeling that they are also like with the message.
It means so much to me when people wear it, and I don't know, it makes me feel very like special and loved. And it, like, obviously I understand like the amount of followers I have and I understand the engagement I have, but when you see people taking like their hard-earned money and kind of, or like asking, people were telling me that they like asked for their birthday and all these things, like, I don't know, it just kind of like reminds you that I don't know, it reminded me of like how special and important that kind of like, again, that community that I feel like not just me but like we have built on my account. And I'll like see, I remember one time I was at like a I don't know what festival or something in Orlando, and I remember I like turned around and this girl was wearing the silver and gold one, and she didn't even say anything to me, like she was like talking to her friends, and I walked up and I was like, hi, I like your necklaces, like, well, and it was just like, it was so cute to like see it in the sense of like, I don't know, like I see my friends and family wearing it all the time, obviously, but then going and seeing like somebody that I don't even know wearing it, I was like, oh, it makes my heart
I
happy.
still see, like, I'm on my For You page and I see people wearing it. I'm like, so proud of her.
Yeah, I'll scroll and I'll see people wearing it, and it's like, they like, I'm trying to think, it's not like they tagged me or anything, it's just like on my For You page, or like my like mutuals, I guess is what they call it, like mutual kind of people on like influencers and stuff, and I'll see them wearing it, like my friend Soleil or my friend Ella, like they wear it all the time in their videos, and they'll tag me and be like, oh, it's her collab, blah, blah. And it's just it's so cute to me, like I can't wait. I was like talking again to my friend Rachel the other day, and I was like, this is thinking very far in the future, I don't even have a boyfriend right now, but like thinking about like being able to like save this necklace and like give it to like my daughters or like my nieces, like that's so cute. Like
that is
like,
so cute.
I know. And like, see, I don't know, I mean, like, it means
because this is like the first like big like collab you did with like a brand where you're really creating your own piece. Like you had full say. We were just here to help you bring all your dreams to life with the piece. And also, like, the red did so well, we ended up dropping the pink. Yeah. Everyone, like, I remember going through her comments. Everyone, like, at first was like, stop gatekeeping. Tell me where it's from. Like, before we dropped, like, they're getting mad. They're like, where's it from? And then after we dropped it, they're like, okay, drop the pink now. We need the pink. And we're like, okay.
No, they're needy. They know what they want. They're very headstrong. But it was funny because I feel like with the Sent with Love necklace, like, we had created it and I was wearing it for like a long time before we released it. And I remember that I felt so bad, but I was like, I can't say, or I was like, I can say, but you can't get it right now. So sorry.
Summer is officially here, guys, and I found where to get the cutest summer jewelry, and it is from Evry Jewels. Make sure you guys go check it out because, like I said, guys, they have the cutest summer jewelry ever, and it's so high quality and affordable. And use the code PODCASTLOVE for 50% off your entire order. Make sure to check it out right now because, guys, stuff is just selling out like crazy. Go to EVRYJEWELS.com and use the code PODCASTLOVE for 50% off your entire order. I feel like because I like when like we had like met in person like a few months ago, we were talking, and I feel like maybe you could like talk more about this, how you're kind of like more selective of the brands that you work with, and I feel like you kind of have that privilege because to you it's like more of like a hobby. So maybe talk about how like it's kind of like important to you of like choosing the people that you want to work with and like being associated with.
It definitely means more to me to be selective about the brands that I work with because I don't need the paycheck. I guess like I have a full-time job. I don't need to work with like with brands that I don't resonate with or I don't like support outside of the PR. Because I don't want to push a brand. I try to like care about the environment, and I wouldn't want to push a brand that like I don't know, like Shein or something like Shein jewelry, because I don't believe in that. And a reason that I love working with you guys and a lot of the other brands is like I like working with small businesses. I like working with female owned brands. I like working with brands that like work with a lot of like women of color, that work with like the LGBT community, because I feel like that's very important. And for example, like when I have a code with a brand and I see people use it, it makes me feel more fulfilled and it makes me feel proud when I see people using or purchasing from a brand that I know is a good company and like treats their workers well and pays them a livable wage and like does these things. I just think it means using like the small voice I have on the internet to lead people towards good things, or good brands or good companies, I think is much more important than just collecting a paycheck from mass produced places.
And I feel like eventually people will kind of just see right through that if you're just like kind of like a sellout. And again, just going back to like authenticity and things like that, I strongly believe that is also kind of adds to your credibility and stuff, because people know now that like you're not just gonna, I'm sure you probably get a bunch of emails of brands wanting to work with you, and it just shows to your followers that you kind of have their best interest at heart, and you don't want to like lead them wrong.
We're so happy we work with you because we love you so much.
Nadia's number one fan.
I love her.
You have one fan, Nadia is one. If you have zero, Nadia is all.
No, it means a lot to see, like, because you don't like work with a lot of brands. Like, I follow you obviously, but like you're not like posting a lot of brands, so it's like it really means a lot that you like wanted to do this collab and wanted to create your own piece and be able to share something mostly like at an affordable price for your followers. Like that's really important.
Again, like if you don't want to get too much into detail about this or like whatever, we can like chop it up, but you mentioned about like growing up with like a single mom and stuff, so maybe you want to like talk about that, especially if like anyone maybe going through something similar, or like whatever you want to like touch upon. It's up to you.
No, yeah, I grew up with a single mom. Not just a single mom, like I grew up with, like I said, I lived with my grandparents for a long time. I have uncles and aunts that I have a very close family, and I'm very blessed. I think it was it was harder for me growing up because I grew up in a predominantly upper middle class, like white nuclear family community. Obviously, you know, when people have two parents, there can still be problems. Like I don't want to belittle that, but I think it was harder for me growing up because you know, there were daddy daughter dances and there were Father's Days that I felt like I was missing out on. But now that I'm older and I have like a better perspective, I am a big believer in everything happens for a reason. I'm a big believer that like, yeah, you know, personally, I'm not religious, but I'm spiritual, and I think the universe will always take care of you. I think it always has, like everything lined up for you. And I think looking back, like I am so personally, I feel like I'm very strong and determined because of it, because I never wanted those things. I never wanted my like socioeconomic, or familial, like, I never wanted that to brand me, and I wanted to kind of beat those odds, and I wanted to show people that like I will be the first one to go to college. I will be the first one to get a career. I will do those things despite the kind of setbacks that I feel like I had growing up. And I am very lucky. I have an amazing stepdad who has treated me like his own from the day that he met my mom. And I'm very blessed, and I have, like I said, like I grew up in such a strong like family that I feel like I never saw it as a disadvantage until I grew up a little bit more and I noticed like, wait, like to me it was almost normalized within my family and my community to have a single parent. And so when I met these people who had, you know, their parents had been together 40 years, it was that was almost like odd to me.
Yeah.
But it's you know, my mom was my mom and my dad and my teacher and my doctor and all, and like my home cook, like she was all of these things. I never felt disadvantaged. I still don't feel disadvantaged. I have never really had a relationship with my father, but I'm happy about it. I feel like I would be a very different person if I had a relationship with my father. I feel like he would bring nothing new to the table. Like I'm good despite all of that. And I want to kind of, you know, I have younger cousins and I have friends, younger siblings who are kind of going through the same thing that I was going through growing up. And I just, if I could tell them anything, I would say like you have everything you need to succeed already inside of you, and you don't need the people that don't want to be there. And I think
Love
that
that.
goes for like for friends that you might lose, or boyfriends or girlfriends. Like you, if they don't want to be there, then that means you don't need them.
I love
Yeah.
that. You like, you speak so highly of your mom, and I think that's the nicest thing, and I love that. Was your relationship always like best friends, or like maybe you started to appreciate that more as you got older?
Oh my gosh, no, I was the worst for a little bit there.
Okay.
I think that, you know, those first few years in high school, I my mom did everything for a reason. My mom always looked at the bigger picture. She would, in a very loving way, she would let me not hate. Let me get upset with her because she knew that what she was doing was protecting me or keeping me safe. My mom was very strict growing up. Like I had a curfew of 9 p.m. till I was like 17.
Really?
Like I was not the kid that was like out late on weekends. And my friends' parents were very lenient, so I was very hard growing up. But looking back, like there were some times that I was like, okay, girl, chill. But most of the time, you know, I look back and I like, she was always looking at the big picture, and she was always doing everything she could to protect me and keep me safe. And I have a 14-year-old brother who is very similar to how I was when I was 14. My mom will talk to me about it. She's like, I don't know what to do. And I'll be like, I don't know how he can be so rude. I don't know how. She's like, you were the exact same way. And I'm
Well,
like,
yeah.
but I'm better now,
Like,
so it doesn't
really?
matter. So it doesn't matter. But no, we definitely, honestly, I don't think that I had as good as a relationship with my mom until I had moved out. And I think that goes a little bit with like, we lived in a smaller house. We were sharing a bathroom. We were sharing a kitchen. Like, we were next to each other all the time. But also I think just the older I get, the more I realize like it was never malicious. She never just didn't want me to have fun. She wanted me to be safe, and I
just
was
loves you.
safe. And it like some of the stuff that, you know, my friends got into when I was younger, I didn't. And I don't know.
She's doing it for love because she loves you so much.
She
And-
does, I mean, she does.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? I feel like we could kind of do like a few rapidy, fiery questions and like we could ask you. So question, would you rather to never be able to do your hair ever again or never be able to get your nails done?
Oh, I would rather never get my nails done. My hair means so much to me.
I
Really?
thought you would say that opposite. I don't know why. I feel like I always see your videos with your nails, and I'm like, I feel like she loves getting her
They're
nails done.
press-ons. They're press-ons. These
Oh,
are
really?
Really good.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
wow.
for a while there, I was getting my nails done, but I have gotten my hair done since I was like 13. It's the one like luxury that my mom and I would always do. And I think I would vanish if I could never get my hair done. I would rather have nubby, dirty, gross nails.
Do you think that kind of like social media has pushed you to want to change things about yourself that like you would never even thought of? Or
I absolutely. There have been so many things that I'm like, wait, I didn't know we were supposed to be insecure about that. I'm like, wait, I didn't know I was supposed to hate that about myself. And yeah, there's a lot of things that I feel like I've discovered on the internet. There's a lot of like buzzwords. I don't want to say any on here because I don't want to push people to be insecure about anything. But there have been things where I'm scrolling and it's like, how to get rid of so and so, and I'm like, wait, I didn't know we were supposed to get rid of that. Like, wait, what? Or like how to do a this without getting surgery, and I'm like, wait, I didn't even know that was there. I didn't even know that was like a thing.
no, this is not even part of the rapid fire, but it just made me think of that because I remember like when like we had met, we were kind of like talking about that whole world. So I was like, okay, what is your go-to TV show?
Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and Friends, and Modern Family.
I feel like you would like Young Sheldon. Have you heard of that show?
My best friend Rachel is obsessed with Young Sheldon.
I'm obsessed. Because
she literally watched it. She rewatches it all the time.
When you told me about you didn't like a bow tie or like suit to school remind me of Young Sheldon, so I'm like, were you hinting at the show? Like, are we having a moment or I'm just delusional? Okay, good TV picks. What is one meal you couldn't live without?
Couldn't live without?
Yeah, could not live.
Fettuccine Alfredo or arroz con pollo. Chicken
and anywhere in specific you get like fettuccine or like a go-to?
Lemon butter fettuccine. No, lemon butter ravioli at Italy in New York City.
Ooh.
I've eaten it twice, and it is so good.
Ooh, yes.
And then other than that, every year on my birthday I eat stuffed shells, which is like a giant noodle with like manicotti cheese inside from Al's Pizza. It's a small business in Jax, and I will die on that hill that it's my favorite meal ever.
Wow, love that.
So good.
Who is your favorite influencer to watch, or like who would you say inspires you?
Oh my gosh, there's a girl. Her name is Paloma, and
I love that name.
need to figure out her. She lives in Mexico, and she is everything that I want to be. I'm finding her username right now. She is everything that I want to be. She is so
I love that name.
lovely, and she's so proud of her culture. Her username is like horchata, like horchata, the Mexican drink, but like I don't know if I'm
God, yeah.
And then her name is Paloma. She inspires me. She does beautiful videos, beautiful makeup inspired by like proud Latina women. And also Monet McMichael. I think everyone's obsessed with her. She's she's stunning, and I'm jealous of everything that she does. I love her. Those are my two.
Love that. Where is your dream place to travel to?
Right now I've been obsessed with Croatia. I'm very like I feel like I've been able to travel a lot, but Croatia, I'm going back to Colombia this summer, and I feel like Cartagena/Medellin, Colombia, and the Mediterranean in Croatia.
I don't know if you guys
prepared, like the way that you just like know right away.
I don't know if you follow Lauren Giraldo. Do you know her?
Oh
Didn't she not?
I've been obsessed with her since I was 14. Like she just got married in Colombia.
Right? That's what I said.
It was so
She's
beautiful.
like, when I tell you, I remember following her like before 3:30. I remember when she would do like Get Ready With Me in high school. I was obsessed with her. Oh my gosh. If she ever followed me back, I think I would shed a tear.
Like,
Lauren Giraldo, if you ever happen to listen or watch this podcast, please follow her.
Yeah.
Follow her.
What is your best college experience?
My best college experience would
Tell us, give us the tea.
Oh gosh. I don't know. I think because I don't go to a college that has like a big football team or anything, so I feel like I can't say like tailgating, but I will say when I visit like
That still
Florida
counts.
State or like UF and I go to their massive tailgates, I feel so American. Like I feel so I'm like, oh, I feel like I need to be wearing like an American. I'm like, go Eagles, go Knowles, drink beer. Like I feel
USA!
so I'm like,
Wait, you know that like sound like, oh, what are your pronouns? USA.
That's literally anytime I go to like a college tailgate. But I'm trying to think of like at my own school. We have this big festival every year called like I think it's called like Osprey Fest because we're the Ospreys, and they have like live music and they'll get like big rappers and like popcorn.
Wow,
That's really fun.
I love that. What is your favorite aesthetic?
Right now, I'm trying to think. I mean, I think everyone is obsessed with Sophia Richie right now.
Yeah.
I don't think I could ever pull it off as good as her, but I do like, I love a good 90s like Latino culture or like the dark lip liner with the nude lip. I've never done it, but I think it's absolutely beautiful and I love it. And then I also have never done it, but I love coquette. Like I love ultra femininity and like Sofia Coppola, Lana Del Rey, bows in the hair. Oh my gosh, I love being a woman. Like I love it. I think it's so cute.
What is your favorite thing about yourself?
I think my favorite thing about myself is I feel as though I'm very good at making people feel comfortable, and I'm very good at trying my best to make sure that people feel seen in a room if they might not have before, like being like welcoming, I would say.
Wow.
I'm proud.
I
I've worked
love
on
that.
a lot.
I got that vibe from you when I had met you.
Oh.
I missed one, but how would you describe your aesthetic? Because you said the other ones weren't like yours.
God. My aesthetic is, what can I scrounge up?
Depends on the day.
Yeah, because I woke up late and I need to get somewhere. And a lot of baggy jeans, tiny tops. My aesthetic is it's 97 degrees in Florida and there's nothing else I can pull off. So
because I feel like half the time on my FYP I'm getting these like out for the day and it's like go off queen. But where are you going? Where are you going in that? To me it's like so not practical. And it's like I love the outfit, but it's like, yeah, that's just, and then I feel bad about myself. And it's like, oh, your outfit sucks, you're this, and I get like so beat up on myself. So I try to dress cute, and then I go in like person and like stores, try shopping, and then I don't find anything. Then I get like in a bad. I'm just like,
I don't get where everyone finds it.
No,
because like there isn't.
I try to go thrifting. What is your go-to outfit?
Okay, recently my go-to outfit has been, I'm gonna do my go-to outfit, my go-to like if I was perfect every day. My go-to outfit has been a Skims bodysuit or top. I'm wearing one right now. Skims bodysuit or top, and then like Levi low pros, like just the baggy, unflattering, no ass jeans. Sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to curse. And then like either like a Reebok sneaker, or if like maybe a sandal if I'm feeling it. But my dream, like if I was able to wake up and like actually get ready every day, I would do like a flowy maxi skirt, a pretty little like lace tank top, or maybe the Skims bodysuit still, but like I love a maxi skirt with like an Adidas Samba, a Gazelle, maybe like a baggy jean and a heel. That was a lot of answers. Morph it into one. Like we could like morph all that into one. That would be it.
Yeah.
I love that.
And then I would wear my Evry Jewels collection.
Oh,
of course.
That was
Can't
my
live
dream
without
outfit.
that.
well, I was gonna say, what is your go-to necklace?
Well, recently this one has been the Esmeralda collection. I just think it's so dainty and beautiful, and I love it so much.
For summer too, I feel like it's perfect.
It's
and that
so,
style
like,
too.
I like
It's so
how
dainty
almost,
and
like, right now,
pretty.
since my camera isn't high quality, I like how it just looks like it's sitting there, like you
Yeah.
can barely see the chain. I love that. This has been my go-to necklace. Or my grandmother gave me a necklace that she had for a long time, and it's a very light chain. That might be my go-to.
Oh, I love that. So gold or silver jewelry?
Gold. And I feel I used to be a silver girl, but I think I've just got the brown hair and the olive skin, and it looks really good with gold. And I just have I've transitioned. But there are some days when I feel like I'm wearing a cargo pant and a gray tank top, and silver just looks better, but gold for sure.
My last question: who is your celebrity crush?
I've been waiting for this for so long, and I have so many. Currently, okay,
Tell us.
well,
List them
like,
off.
Harry
Who is
Styles.
that in the back?
Harry
I've
Styles.
been like looking. I'm like, why does it look like the guy from
It's Harry
Toy-
Styles, no?
Oh, it's Harry Styles.
Yeah, it's him.
Why does it
It's
look?
a really weird picture of him, but it's like
It looks like
Yeah.
Woody from like Toy Story. I'm like, who is that?
Girl.
Harry Styles, Pedro Pascal. I feel like I'm gonna miss like a big one, and my friends are gonna be like, you don't even like him. Pedro Pascal, Harry Styles. Oh my gosh, Bad Bunny. Benito is like, he's so cute. I'm like looking at my wall of like people that I have a huge crush on. Okay, those are my big three. I feel like I'm forgetting a main one. There's like Men of the Week, but those are like my Men of the Year. Kind of.
Those are
Love
good
that.
ones. Those are good ones.
Well, this was an amazing time on the pod. I've had an amazing time.
I'm
You're so
jealous.
well spoken.
Oh,
You
thank
just radiate such amazing energy. You're just
You're
like
so passionate.
yeah.
You're so independent woman, queen, slay, girl boss. Like, we love you.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for coming on and being a guest. We absolutely love working with you. Love your videos, love your positivity, love everything that you said. We're just a number one fan of you.
We
Even
are.
when I met her in person, I was just like, oh my, I
was
feel
so jealous. I was like, oh, you're so lucky. You're meeting the
just
queen.
a sweet like
Meeting the
angel.
president.
Oh yeah, it was a national holiday.
Yeah.
But again, thank you so much for coming on. You were a pleasure. We love working with you. And I told Nadia when we were on like the break thing, like before, I'm like, why are we not doing part 3?
Part 3.
Why are we not doing part like?
I need more idea. I need to think some more.
I mean, like a back to
A
something
trip.
for like back to school. Yeah, or like when she's like in Columbia, like get some
Yeah.
inspo.
We'll work on something.
Yeah.
You're always welcome here.
Yeah, we love you. Thank you again. We hope you have a wonderful
thanks.
day. Fabulous. I wish
Yeah.
everything amazing for you in your life.
Oh my gosh, you guys
Thank
are
you.
so sweet. I love you guys. Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Bye bye. Thank you again to Evry Jewels for sponsoring this podcast. Again, if you want 50% off your order, use the code PODCASTLOVE to get yourself the best high quality and affordable jewelry.